the Goon Squad Podcast.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Disco Boogie.
And this is Classified Country Boy from Ohio.
This is Koa from Alabama.
And this is Ox from Ohio.
Today's topic's going to be about doxing, operational security, communication security, and personal security. Kind of a big one recently.
And also the fact that libertarians cannot work together to get shit done.
No.
Nope.
No, they cannot.
High-profile cases. Everything that comes up, there's always got to be a fight every time.
Fact.
Always over something stupid.
Yeah, it's a lot of ego stroking going on.
That's all it is, man. Who's shit swinging lower?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. To begin with all this, it pretty much, I mean, you can pretty much say the beginning of all this comes down to the first, big mass band waves when everybody started getting deplatformed off of Discord and Facebook and started moving into these other, third-party apps that nobody really heard of.
Yeah, bro. They've started fucking everything up on Facebook. I miss the good old days back when, what was it, the Coal Summer Blowout Special and the Burlington Coat Factory shit, man, and
the Catalina
wine mixer.
Claymore Bloomberg service.
That one was hands down my favorite with their description in it and everything.
Those people got creative with some of those names, man. They were good. They were A1.
There was big igloo modular home builders.
Yeah, the Inuit modular home builders. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Don't forget 50-second penguin.
I actually posted that picture on just a random person's status the other day. It was it was a thing on Facebook. It was like your Halloween costume, your month and the day decides what you are. Mine was horny penguin. So I posted the 50-second penguin platoon picture with it. Let's go.
Hell yeah, bro. That group of guys put in some fucking work, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They were able to convert a lot of people.
Well, and the thing is, too, I mean, it was pretty cool to see because, I don't know, it almost seemed like they knew it was coming, too, because it was always about a day beforehand. They'd post up a new link and said, hey, should probably go check out this new one. I think we're about to get the ban hammer in a couple of days. Boom, group is gone. But you know what? We were already moved. But, I mean.
It was getting predictable.
Yeah, it was.
I guess that's the only good thing about having them big groups, man. It makes it easier to regroup.
Yeah.
Not having the big groups, but having the abundance of groups.
I was in a couple smaller groups that was there solely for the purpose of regrouping that had just off-the-wall names that had nothing to do with anything, and they got deleted too.
Yeah, they somehow...
Like Cowabunga birthday party, for example. There was... I think there was one post ever in that group that I actually saw.
You know, the thing is, too, I mean, that's... And that relates to the topic, though, is that we started seeing all the bans, and we call them the ban hammer and things like that. For those who aren't understanding, that's just where you violate Facebook terms and stuff like that. They give you a warning. Sometimes they don't, and boom, you're it. Your group is gone, your profile is gone, whatever the case might be. And so that was around the time. I mean, and that's when this movement started getting a lot bigger too and gaining more attention. That was just basically, where people started to learn a little bit more about OPSEC, don't use certain words, and in your posts, can't post certain pictures. If you do, you got to take out a certain word or, whatever and move forward, So, I mean, it sucks that it happened on Facebook because it was a mutual meeting ground. But at the end of the day, honestly, it's an OPSEC nightmare. I mean, really, it was because I didn't have a separate account, to go under some of these pages, and So it was under my real life name. And so, by the time that we moved to unnamed other platforms, which I'm sure our listeners will know what they are, it was kind of cool to become creative and come up with another name and not create an alter ego, but be able to kind of start practicing more OPSEC, and that it's nice to see that other people are doing that as well.
Yep.
One thing too with Facebook is that they required a lot of like verification, like making sure you weren't a fake profile, which made it also very easy for them to start banning a lot of these groups. Can be like, oh, these accounts were just made the last month. Let me start banning these ones.
Yep.
That's one thing I'm surprised about with the whole thing is I've had my account for 10 years, like most of you have, probably longer, shorter, whatever. It's when they started perma-banning mods and admins as well, they got two groups I was in, and it started getting more random. Sometimes the admins were perma-banned, sometimes they weren't. If it was a new profile, they just about always were, and it was real hit and miss on the older ones.
Well, and the thing is too, I before we also go like too deep, I also think too we should probably explain like OPSEC too, like what that is, and ComSec and things like that. OPSEC is kind of like when you have like a group or a movement, and there are certain aspects, ideas, and things like that that you don't want to become public knowledge. It's best to practice whatever you can to try and keep that under wraps. ComSec is, watching what you say. Don't say anything that you, in some cases, wouldn't say in front of your mother or in front of a police officer or court of law. And PERSEC is, making sure that you yourself is protected, and that way, your name, your family, and stuff like that. That way, you don't end up getting doxxed. So and that's where Facebook, that's where I kind of got questionable, like where my profile was up for so long, like Koa, why was it up so long? How was this hit and miss? So
I'm personally surprised my account's still up, but I was already like, when the whole ban waves started to come out, I started like removing my personal profile from all that shit anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Still, like, there were some people that kind of played it with like how I did it, where like just keeping like their personal profile away and still got the wave. So it's overall it's all weird, just like the whole thing. But overall, you just have to like on Facebook, like they give you so many options to make your account private, to the point where like if somebody clicks on your public profile, they're not going to see the rest of your stuff. They're only going to see what you allow them to see. And unless they're your friends, they're not going to go through your account and see everything, which is already a good layer to like to help yourself and talk freely, which you didn't really see a lot of doxing going on Facebook per se. But then like once we started jumping into different platforms and you started seeing more doxing ones. In most cases, most doxes happen when you're out in the streets anyways. That's why you always see like those videos of like when Antifa is getting recorded in camera, and they're always like shoving the camera out of the way and stuff like that because they don't want to get spotted. Because, they're worried about like not just themselves, their own people, but like people on the right too that would dox them.
I have noticed one thing though about that is right about a little bit after the first ban wave, I went through and just locked everything down on my profile. So you click it, all you can see is my picture and my relationship status.
I would even put relationship status up either.
That's more for my girlfriend. She likes to have the tag there. So that's for her. But what I was going to say is I noticed since I locked that down, a lot less stuff on my profile has been disappearing. And I've posted podcasts related to the movement, the national anthem, and a couple other videos that were on the Hibiscus Society YouTube page, which actually I just looked, it's still there, surprisingly. I posted July 13th.
Well, it's a good example. Like the reason why you wouldn't see like the podcast being taken down on like other platforms, because one, we're not mentioning any of the forbidden words, and you're saying common stuff, and two, they're not really going to dig through the whole podcast unless somebody like that's like like Antifa leaning decides to like start doxing people or trying to find dox material out of this or something like that. It's always just good to like not say anything that would implement you and other people, pretty much get other people in trouble or get doxxed or hurt themselves.
Well, and one important thing that I always say is don't post anything or type anything or put anything online on any platform, whether it's secure, encrypted, whatever it is, that you wouldn't want any certain alphabet agencies being able to read, because we all know one of them at least can read what you type, no matter what. So,
Yep. Now, the podcast specifically I mentioned that's still up is actually Chris is on the thumbnail, Judah, and I'm not sure who Andrew is, but Andrew's there too. But it says big as hell across the thumbnail, Boogaloo Boys.
Oh boy.
Honestly surprised that one's still there.
Yeah, but you also got to keep in mind, it could also be served as like an informal, kind of like the tag they would put like journalism somewhat. You know, if you're trying to like get a deep dive or like get an idea, it's there. But if it's a podcast, it's not a story, and you're kind of like, you can't really take it down because that means you're restricting free speech.
Yeah, the First Amendment is, the words First Amendment are actually in the title as well. It's about the First Amendment.
Yeah. And as long as they're not saying anything like super highly illegal.
just a little bit.
Just a little.
A little spicy.
A little tahini.
A little spicy's okay.
A little tahini on it.
A little fuego.
Fire.
So, but yeah, I mean, and this is, moving on, and, with doxing, I mean, we're saying that quite a bit, and that's just kind of where, personal information goes back and ties into personal security or PERSEC. You don't want certain personal information put out there, especially the place you work at, your history, where you live, or I should say more specifically, like where you live, what location, and things like that, because they can be used against you. And we're definitely starting to see in recent events where that's become a powerful tool that people are using against each other.
And it's working flawlessly.
Yep.
Because the media is going out there and painting a narrative, and and so people are reading into it. They're seeing what the unspoken words are from the media's perspective, and then this person gets doxxed or whatever and posted online. Well, now all of a sudden this person's looking for a new job because their boss happened to catch their name that was plastered on the internet and being affiliated with a certain group. So,
and don't forget, this could also just radicalize that person even more to retaliate and do something they shouldn't be doing.
I feel like some people ask for it though, man, because I've seen a lot of people on Facebook or just on any fucking platform, bro. They're so eager for people to fucking know that they're in some fucking movement and this and that, and it's like, bro, we don't have the right PR to be going around fucking yelling this shit from the rooftops right now.
Look at me, I'm helping.
Yeah, like, fuck, bro. I myself have a hard time fucking telling people. I don't like telling people shit about what I got going on.
Yeah, I've actually had to get on somebody in person who said outright they're a part of the movement, and I'm like, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah, bro, you don't say that shit, man.
Yeah, remember, guys, we're the Bungalow Boys.
You start saying what you're a part of and shit, some people don't know what the fuck it is, so they're gonna go look it up, and you don't want them fucking looking it up because all that shit's fucking false information. And they're gonna get it in their fucking head, oh, this guy's a part of a terrorist organization. No, bitch, that's not the fucking case.
But
just
also,
a bunch of liberty-minded individuals trying to do goon shit with the boys.
But also, like, when a lot of these people, just talking from past experience, talking to, like, people that I would say that would be Antifa or something like that, when they actually do the research or actually go inside groups or anything like that, they'll 9 out of 10 times when they're talking to somebody on the streets or they actually infiltrated the group, they're going to see exactly what we're all seeing, and they'll realize real quick, like, oh, they're not what they seem. Like, what the fuck? And that's when people start finding out about the whole, like, media narrative changing perspectives on other groups, including other groups that are, like, of opposite of us, like, like the Proud Boys and Antifa and shit. They focus on, like, that 1 or 2% of the bad and paint the whole group as that.
Yep.
And that's the thing, bro. You got fucking people going out there who are in the fucking spotlight, going out there fucking acting all types of whatever accelerationist and shit, and because they're fucking one of the faces of the fucking movement, oh, well, then they're all like this, they're all like that. No, that's not the case, bro. Do your research.
They'll think that we're all arrogant.
A lot of us are in the movement simply because, and I'm this case specifically, a lot of us are here just because we want to be left alone. That's it.
Exactly.
The fact that we've had to come out and actually say, hey, in some cases and some groups, and had to say, we want no part of this individual, I mean, and it's not just one, because I mean, I know, certain people are going to listen to this and try to zero in on one person, and no, it's not one person. There's actually been multiple people where it's like, we don't affiliate and we don't associate with this person for multiple reasons,
Yep.
That's why the fucking redacted name is so fucked up right now, man. You don't even want to fucking use it. You don't want to be lumped in with fucking those guys.
Yeah, in this movement, just like every other movement to ever exist in history, there's going to be a couple guys that are bad apples in the group, and everybody just hyper focuses on that group and nothing else.
Oh, like, for example, Oakland, that's a prime scenario right there. I mean, every article that I read about the movement, I mean, literally has to make some kind of acknowledgement of the one individual. And it's like, you got, you're already writing this to, make up people's minds for them, and the thing is too, it pushes some people to go out of their way and expose, quote unquote, some of these bad people in the groups, and make sure that their information, their dirty laundry and everything else like that is aired for the world to see. I mean, that's dangerous, I mean, and like I think it was Boogie said, like, it's going to radicalize some of these people, and that's not okay. I mean, that's why at the end of the day, your protection needs to start with you at the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
But then also too, I mean, if you're going to be putting up a group and you're going to host, all these certain individuals as well in your group on whatever platform, you are taking responsibility to figure out a way to delegate or make sure your security concerns are addressed and taken care of and handled. I mean, you got to watch for the people that, have suspect behavior of of tarnishing the name of the movement, because obviously we don't want to be affiliated. Number one, we don't want to be affiliated with pedophiles, for one. I mean, and I'll straight up say that right now. Nobody in this movement wants to be affiliated or associated with a pedophile. And going along with that, there are certain ground rules and boundaries, that have to be in place. Yeah, we're all free men and stuff like that, but taking care of these securities and stuff like that to protect your members is something you need to do. And some of these groups have realized too little too late. And it's not just one group in particular that's done it. It's been multiple groups that have done it. I mean, and I get it. I mean, a lot of us came from Facebook, where it was just kind of, free reign and everything else like that. Me shit posting. But now we have scenarios where people are publicly being doxxed.
Yeah. And it's just either getting doxxed online for just posting stupid shit like their face or something like that online. But, like, one of the big issues that I've always had, and I've always said the same thing when it comes to like groups from the left too, is that when you see somebody doing some bad shit or saying some bad shit, call them the fuck out. Like, don't let them do what they're gonna do. But some of these people will just let it slide, or like, oh, they're just joking and stuff like that. But sometimes it can be serious. But they say the same thing to us, like, oh, like that one whole leak that happened on Twitter recently, where like all this pretty much where a lot of this is coming from, the whole doxing thing. Like they were saying, people were responding to that saying like, well, if they had bad apples, why don't they call them out? I was like, well, can you guys do the same thing too?
I've seen a lot of our bad apples get called out in the groups. I've seen a lot of people get banned for accelerationism, for racism, things that we're completely against. If you're apparently supporting that, you're not welcome here, and it will be made known.
Yeah, we see it all the time. Like whenever we get like people that we already know, they're like, oh, they're definitely not part of it. Like they're infiltrators, basically. Like somebody, maybe Antifa or something, saying, oh, well, could we start saying the N-word? Could we start saying racial shit? And we're like, no, get the hell out of here. And they're all just like dumbfounded, like, wait, what? And most of these people might have come by just seeing from the media saying like, oh, we're a white supremacist group or something. But I'm like, all right, you joined and you see a bunch of like,
I'm not even white.
Diversity. Like none of us. Like, well, like there's a couple of us, but like, what the fuck? Like the media paints this picture, and then because they're pretty much putting that advertising like, oh, we're a white supremacist group. Now we're actually getting legit white supremacists coming into the group trying to start shit, and then we're already kicked them all out. But like, the whole media is always putting attention on us and like other groups like Antifa, but like, there's actually legit groups that are fucking scarier than that do way worse shit. You guys ever heard of Adam Waffle or Waffen?
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Like, dude, those guys legit done terrorist shit. Like, they killed people trying to poison water supplies.
I don't know. First of all, when your name comes out like a fucking word salad, you already suck as a group anyway. And when you want to try and isolate and pick on a group because of skin color or whatever, I'll say it right now. And I hope some of these motherfuckers that are listening that think that shit is okay, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I mean, seriously. It's fucking human life, and you're encroaching on and infringing upon another person's life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So if you're a racist, go fuck yourself, piece of shit.
It's literally as easy as, you don't like that guy? Just ignore him. Nobody gives a shit about your opinion. Just go not like him over there in your little shithole corner. Don't bring it over here.
Then there's also the opposite hand of that. You can't pick on somebody for not liking a certain group, especially if they're doing it quietly, and like if you got somebody that's like, oh man, I hate this particular group of people or whatever. Well, fine, keep it to yourself, and don't go and treat the shit out of that guy's life. Now, if that guy or that person, is publicly making statements and things like that, shouldn't be said or things shouldn't be made, well then, yeah, I mean, fine, rough them up and hurt their feelings, whatever. But, don't, people are allowed to have opinions. And so that's kind of like, I sound a little backwards whenever I say like, oh yeah, fuck you racist, but then there's probably some that are quietly, actively listening to this and saying like, oh, what the hell? What am I supposed to do?
But propaganda says.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's bullshit, because this movement definitely has some good intent, and we've caught some pretty bad tarnishing and everything else like that. But everybody that's in the movement, 9 times out of 10, is a libertarian, and we're not giving ourselves good names either. I mean, it's like our first episode that we had. I mean, a lot of the topics that we talked about, there was a lot of like infighting in the groups just on those 2 topics alone. I mean, like Kyle Rittenhouse and Garrett Foster. I mean, it tore the movement almost in half, and people were pissed. And and these people, you're libertarians. You're supposed to understand people can have their own separate opinion. And no, I mean, you want to act like children and argue and everything else like that about it. Like, fine, whatever. You're not truly a libertarian then. I'll say it.
At that point, because we're supposed to be open to listen to any discussions. We're supposed to just like focus and actually try and compromise and meet down the middle. I mean, clearly there's going to be some things you can't meet down the middle on some shit like racism and shit like that. But, like, a lot of this infighting just straight up needs to talk because, like, it's been years and years and years we've seen the Libertarian Party always tear each other apart over stupid infighting, either whether it be like, oh, Joe Jorgens posted this about BLM, or oh, Joe Jorgens' stance on the open borders, or even like with Gary Johnson, like, oh, that guy's a goof. Like, all this infighting pretty much puts us always in third and fourth place no matter what. Like, we can't move forward, we can't work together.
I had an argument with somebody on Twitter today, like trying to tell me that, I'm throwing my vote away and stuff. Well, I should say I kind of prefaced it, just basically, shitting on Joe Biden. And, and so it was immediately thought of, oh, well, Trump this and Trump that, and he's not that good either. And I'm like, yeah, well, fuck Trump too, fucking piece of shit. And it was just like they were blown away. Like, what do you mean? Well, and then they were like, well, what are you trying to tell people not to vote? I'm like, no, actually, I'm telling people to try and vote for a libertarian that actually has true liberty in mind. Like,
or even the Green Party. Like, it's better than the fucking establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh no, it's throwing your vote away, and it's like, okay, whatever,
I'll throw it that way towards them then.
I've commented on a post like that today. People are talking about the past X many elections have all been, oh, well, this one's too important to try a third party. It's like,
always.
You guys have been saying that for literally every election I have been alive.
This is not the time to vote third party.
It's like, when is it the time? Man? Is it waiting until where Trump decides, let's say he loses this election or let's say he wins this election, we get Trump 2020. 24, he's talking about the same shit he was earlier about not wanting to have a peaceful handover. Is it then that we decide? Is it after that when somebody pushes it even further? When more governors and everybody's saying, oh, well, yeah, screw that court. Screw that the court said what I'm doing is unconstitutional. I'm doing it anyway. And if you stop me, I'm going to go this route to do it.
Like the ATF banning honey badgers.
I'm talking about, what was it? Was it Michigan's court or Michigan's governor that said something about a governor said the court said a governor's lockdown order was unconstitutional, and the governor basically said, yo, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, that's because Gavin Newsom started all that.
Okay.
Let's not forget about good old Mike DeWine.
Yeah. This is one of the things whenever I get into an argument with people that basically say, oh, you're throwing away your vote in a third party. Like, I always reference, like, two things. One, I'm in a state where it's going to go blue no matter what. Like, my vote's going to be thrown away no matter who I vote for, even if I voted for Biden. It's not – the state doesn't represent anybody in the state anymore. And two, like, the only reason why you're telling somebody, like, you're wasting their vote or blah, blah, is because, like, you only value normalcy than actually trying to fix things. But in reality, you're just going to have this 2 or 3 year period of, like, all right, no have to worry about elections anymore. And just to, like, come back around, you start finding about all the bullshit that just happened recently. Like, well, fuck, now I'm mad. Well, that's because you voted for these people. You never paid attention.
Yeah, it's like everybody right now is talking about, out of the two candidates, Trump's going to uphold the Constitution. Trump's pro-2A. And it's like,
okay.
Trump supported all these things, and goes to another argument I had in person. Guy's example, literally the only thing he could say about it was, well, I bought a gun while Trump was president, and I got it the fastest I've ever got one. And it's like, because that means anything? You've bought one before. Everybody's first one, or everybody goes faster their second time through. Well, your girlfriend bought one and it was her first. And it's like, my girlfriend's also done literally nothing wrong. There's nothing on her background. Ever. There's nothing to check. We
I
don't
know.
have a waiting period in the state.
Trump
And
is
I'll
such
point
a
out,
Pro-2A guy. He's a stand-up guy.
oh well, he banned bump stocks. That's literally an infringement. Oh well, people don't need bump stocks anyway. Why do you need a bump stock? It's like, that's not the point.
Yeah, it don't matter if I fucking need it, bitch. If I want it, I should be able to fucking get it.
It's like, okay, if you're gonna follow every law, why isn't yours registered?
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys did see this, but remember Ken Bone from the last election cycle?
Who?
Ken Bone.
I'll be honest. No, I don't.
I don't either.
He became a meme last year, basically, during the I think it was either a town hall. I think it was a town hall. Yeah, that's when they actually asked the audience shit. He was asking Hillary Clinton and Trump, like, because he was, like, down the middle. He was basically a swing state voter. Like, why should I vote for you? He ended up voting for Hillary Clinton because, you know, a lot of people felt that they had to vote for her at that time anyways. But now he actually just came out today recently saying that he's voting for George Jorgensen. And he's a down-the-middle guy. Like, he doesn't give a shit about the Republicans and Democrats. Like now, like, middle America is starting to realize, like, yo, they're finding out about the third party now. Especially with somebody like him who's acknowledging it. That's huge.
It just sounds like it's one step closer to agorism to me. I don't know. Just me, though.
Agorism, well, if you want to talk about agorism, that's just more of like a I don't know, that's a whole crypto thing. Just
well, either way, I don't know. I like how we definitely deviated from topic, but I mean, it's all good. It's all good stuff.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
It's all relevant topics.
Somewhat
relevant to the nature of everything, but I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, what we should do, like as the Libertarian Party, should definitely unify together and stop all the bullshit infighting, stop allowing infiltrations and doxing and things like that. I mean, if you're in a specific movement, be quiet about it and speak softly, carry a big stick, like Teddy Roosevelt said, or, I mean, if you're just a plain old libertarian, make sure, that if you're going to go out there and educate people, try to educate people and show them that there is another option. I mean, not everything's got to turn into an argument. And that's what we're the worst at in our own movement is we will, I mean, rip each other to shreds over it, and people sit back and watch and they're like, oh yeah, because I'm going to vote third party because of this shit. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing is, most libertarians are already really good at shredding both the left and the right. That when you see like us, fellow libertarians going at each other, it's just like you're watching just like the greatest boxing fight in the world when it comes to like political shit. Like we all like to fucking argue about this stuff.
Well, here's what I think is funny is like because I used to be a statist, I voted for Trump the first time around. I did not know pretty much any law, really. I didn't take the time to learn anything. I became a libertarian and I did a deep dive into politics. I did a deep dive into studying, the Constitution and really learning oh, I'm saying my rights are being infringed. Well, why are they being infringed? And so then it ended up being that those were some of the arguments that I would talk to people. And one guy, that I talked to, he was, staunch, adamant Trump supporter. And all I had to do was just hit him with the gun argument, Second Amendment rights and, the ATF and things like that. And he goes, yeah, I fucking hate the ATF. And I'm like, so do you know who Joe Jorgensen is? And he goes, no. And I'm like, well, she plans on, banning the ATF. Oh, fuck it, I know who I'm voting for. I'm like, shit, that was the easiest fucking education I've ever had to do.
That's usually the one thing that would flip Trump supporters, until you tell them about open borders. Then they go like, oh, get out of here.
I paid for that wall.
My
I paid
borders.
for that wall. The Mexicans are going to pay for that wall. Just you wait and see.
Yeah, after we kick them out, and then we're not going to have people to be able to build it.
And the Mexican president laughing at him.
Fucking loved that, bro.
Hey, speaking of the Mexican president, just talking to like family that I have out in Mexico and shit like that, like they pretty much were kind of dealing with, not like the whole like, possible, the bungalow revolution, shit like that, but like in Mexico when they were during their presidential run, because AMLO was technically the third party candidate. He wasn't representing the big two, and Mexico has always been just. It was always one party for literally like a whole century or a whole decade. Yeah, one party for a whole decade, and then he finally flipped to like a more ultra conservative side, and then they went back to that same old party, and then now they're voting for like a more like, you could say they're kind of libertarian, but like more left leaning president who's actually just all about cutting the government spending. No more like the senators getting ridiculous retirement checks and all this stuff. And
wasn't Trump about that like 4 years ago?
Yeah, but you already know how that is. The only problem is, if you want to get shit done, send a Mexican. But yeah, the same thing what we're seeing here is that the Mexican media out there was actually like not showing AMLO at all. Like they weren't giving him the attention he got. But a lot of the working class people out there were just like, nope, we're fucking done with all this shit. We're tired of the fucking the PAN and the PRI like fucking everybody over. We're done. Like voted him in unanimously. Not unanimously, but voting third party can happen. If Mexico can do it, we can do it too.
Get your shit together, America.
When the night of the presidential debate was going on, and I got that text message saying, "Oh, Joe Jorgensen's been canceled. Sorry, type thing."
My God.
I like sent a text. Yeah, I sent a text back saying, and I didn't expect a response. I sent a text back saying, "Hey, should me and my Hawaiian shirt wearing brothers show up?" And then I got a text back saying, "It's not my call." Sent me the link to the live stream. And then I replied back, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just joking anyway." And I get the text said yes to the FBI agents reading the text, and I'm just like, "Oh my God!"
She understands.
You guys are awesome.
That was the whole thing. It was a technicality over some stupid permit, and she wasn't allowed to speak in Cleveland. And it was like, that's how's that not censorship or voter suppression or anything else like that? You're not letting her be heard and be seen as an alternative option.
Yeah, because she didn't have the fucking right permit for the sound system. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
She had come here in Alabama. If I remember right, they didn't even get the permit. They just, okay, fuck it. What's it going to be? A sound ordinance? Fine. Okay.
Pay it. Yeah, they definitely pulled some strings to cancel that shit.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. I'll say it right now. I think shout out to Spike Cohen because that guy's a straight G. He when I was still on Facebook, he'd post pictures and stuff about him when he was on the campaign and stuff like that. Where he's got a picture where he's holding somebody's rifle or something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody commented on one of them and said, "Why do you always have to be holding a rifle? We get it. You're pro 2A." And he comments underneath that and says, "I can hold a bear next time if you want."
I fucking love it. Bring that man a bear.
So,
I'd bring
I swear
Spike
to
a
God,
bear.
how funny would that be? Some Hawaiian shirt wearing brother shows up with a bear. He goes, "All right, here's my weapon. Would you like to hold it?"
Mascot uniform.
Bear's got a custom-made tack vest on.
Hell yeah.
It's really just me in a ghillie suit.
Psyops out the ass, huh?
Oh man. Well, I think we covered a pretty good bit, and actually, I kind of think the majority of our venting was kind of done offline, but I mean, it was probably for the best. But I mean, I think we still made some pretty good
feelings.
points, and yeah, no kidding. But I mean, I hope people learn. I mean, and I'm not afraid of people, DM me, ask me questions and stuff like that. Like what exactly is doxing, or how do you properly protect yourself? I mean, disclaimer, I am not going to give everybody proper information, and on that I'll give generalized information. So
Just
one thing we
because
didn't
everybody's
mention,
answer is going to be different. I mean,
yeah, one thing we didn't touch on about doxing out in the streets, if you're actually out and about, because that's usually where it happens the most, actually, instead of online. Online, they have to put in a nepper. You have to make them work for it. But on the streets, you got to make sure you cover your face. You got to make sure you don't have any like tattoos, like something that will like help either Antifa or Suit Boys and all stuff identify. You cannot let them get any of that because
But I
you can't
don't
even
want to wear
split up.
my mask.
Well, you got to figure it out.
my freedoms.
Yeah, my freedom. Then you
fuck.
lose your job. Like, no,
It's like,
fuck that.
dude, I for one, I don't care what anybody says. I love the mask thing simply for the fact that, okay, if I want to go somewhere and I don't want people knowing where I'm going, I can just wear a mask. Nobody
Yeah.
can see your whole face. Yeah, people who know you are going to recognize you, but I mean, if you have if you have certain types of masks, they won't even, unless they hear you talk, they won't even recognize you.
But they're training the facial recognition technology to detect people with masks so they can detect them.
Like, bitch, you're walking into a store and paying with a debit card anyway. They already know you're there.
Yeah, bro.
With your cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But,
just wait
you
till
know
they hear
what?
about cell phones.
Shh, don't
That's
tell
why
them, Dad.
carrier pigeons, man. Carrier pigeons is the way to go.
Man, birds
Fuck
are
that, I'm
not
using the
real.
Pony Express.
Birds aren't real. These lockdowns are to change
They're
the birds'
government
batteries.
drones.
Everybody just go in your house, let them change the batteries, and then the whole corona will go away.
I don't know. So I'm getting over a cold right now. And I personally I don't wear masks. I don't know. I got a bad attitude about it. But I went to the gas station yesterday, and I go to walk out, and somebody was being nice and holding the door. Well, because of this cold, it's been breaking up. I started coughing, and it was like rattling too. I know it sounded bad. This person, no holds barred. I mean, let go of the door. It fucking hits me. They turn around, walk away, get in their car, and drive off. And it was just like, well, that was a little extreme, don't you think, bud?
Asshole. I
Rip.
didn't get the kids get in the fucking car.
Damn near hood
It's the
slide,
Rona.
jumped in the window. Get the fuck out of here. That guy's
Man,
got the Rona.
fuck that mask. I go anywhere, bro. I'm wearing the shamag or however you fucking say it, bro.
What?
I just wear a gator.
You're wearing
It's easy.
schmegma? You're wearing schmegma on your face?
Gators are cool, but once you start getting
Is that-
sweaty, you're kind of fucked.
Is that how you say it? Shemegma?
See,
No.
I'm used to extreme heat though, so I mean, I used to wear N95 mask in extreme heat. The gators, the everything like that just doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I like those a lot too. But regardless, if it's a business or somebody's property and they ask me, if, their property and all that shit, to wear a mask, I'll wear the mask. But overall, I personally don't really give a shit.
Can't really be all for all rights to the people, but then, oh, fuck that guy not wanting me to wear my mask in his store that he owns.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously, you're going to go there, and he's asking you to wear a mask. I mean, do what I do. Or like Boogie, put a mask on or go away. Either of you are. I mean,
That's simple.
Plain and simple.
it's that simple. My only wish, though, is, like, I have been kicked out of a store for not wearing a mask before.
Yeah, that happened to me back home. Fucking South Carolina.
Normally, if it was at the door where most places do it, would not have cared. Wouldn't have said a word, would have walked back to my car, just put a mask on, walked back in, and did what I was there to do. But, like, I got kicked out of a store when I was next in line. The guy already started ringing up my stuff, and he was like, wait, do you have a mask? I was like, I forgot it. He was like, well, do you want to buy a mask? It's like, No, I have like
Not
3 out
really.
in the car. It's like, oh, well, you need to go get a mask or I can't serve you. It's like, dude,
I'm here.
like, my
Just ring
card's
him
already out. My card's already out. You already rang up everything except the gas I'm about to ask you for. And then I'm gone.
Just
Like,
pull your shirt up over your
You
nose.
gotta keep in mind, some of these people just want a reaction or want like you to freak out so they can bust out their phone and get a viral video. But there's already like hundreds of those videos out there anyways.
I mean, the
Look at
dude's
this
usually
bungalow
more of
boy
a
here freaking out about a mask.
the dude that did it's usually more, anti-conflict. He's gonna try to keep everything quiet, hush hush. It's just like that one time. Like, damn, you couldn't have told me when I walked through the door, or when your boss looked straight at me, or when your other employee looked straight at me and gave me that dirty look they gave me. Nobody could have said anything at any of those times.
They just wanted the disappointment to build up.
You know, it's
Look
the,
at that non-mask wearing piece of shit.
You have to wait until I'm at the register and you try to sell me a mask. But if I would have bought the mask, it would have been all good and dandy. But I didn't buy it.
Or you could have gotten
Yeah,
arrested
bro.
at a football game.
But are we
Oh,
not
God.
pro-capitalism?
Arrested at a football game by a guy who's also not properly wearing a mask.
The
Well,
cops
he
never
was
wear their
wearing
masks.
one.
With
It was
more
the other cop that ran up that wasn't wearing one, and you could hear the lady, but you're not fucking wearing one. How are you going to arrest me?
No, I mean okay, I did not watch the video. But no, all the screenshots showed that big heavy set officer with the mask on, but his mask isn't all the way on. It's like you're breathing through your nose. That's
Oh, I
not
didn't
covered
get
by
that.
the mask. Yeah, if you look at all the scene, specifically the pictures have been going around with all the cheerleaders in the background. None of them have masks on.
Clearly, that cop was a mouth breather. That's why it wasn't on his nose.
Got his mouth above his eyes.
You know where are the best ones about this? Is people that don't wear their mask and they freak out in stores like, well, I just want to buy this one item. Like, dude, you know there's a pickup window outside?
Or call ahead.
Hey,
Or order online.
Oh, DoorDash or what's the other one? The one that like goes to grocery stores and delivers for you. Like, there's multiple services that allow you to just not be there if you're so tripping about a fucking mask.
You
Yeah,
could literally
Postmates,
still go to
Grubhub.
Walmart. You get your day out at Walmart and just sit in your car, and they'll just come, and you don't even have to get out. Just pop your trunk for them. They put it all in. Hey, you see your canceled or changed items? You okay with that? Yeah, good, awesome. Roll your window back up.
Boogie,
That's what my lazy ass does here at the hotel.
Wait, who was it? Who was it that said DoorDash?
I did.
Ox? Or
Oh,
maybe
okay.
someone
No, it
else
was
as
me.
well then.
Grubhub, please sponsor our show.
Yeah. Let's fuck. I'm trying to think of a good pun, but I don't want to say the words.
Wait,
It's
why
hard, man. It's become a way of life now. Shit.
are they bad words or what? I mean, fuck it. I kind of think I think we've ripped the Band-Aid off so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're picking up the scab.
We should just like edit like just our own version of the words. Be like,
Koa.
What's up?
I looked up smegma. I don't wear that shit.
I told you don't wear it.
Oh fuck.
Dude, I didn't even think you really picked up on it until you're like, what is smegma? Do I wear that? I'm like, no, dude.
I didn't know if I was saying the word right or not, and I thought you were extending a helping hand.
Speaking of which, I just realized I'm the only one here without a picture. How do you change that? I know nothing about Zoom. I'm sorry.
I think it's your profile picture.
Please sponsor our podcast.
My super suit.
Can we get can I get ammo DoorDash to me?
Bro, what? See? Listen, guys. This is the fucking America we're fighting for. You want DoorDash ammo? Tighten the fuck up. Vote gold.
All the freedom for all the people, all the time.
Exactly, man.
Look, I just want the Amazon drones to just come by and just drop off my product.
What? Amazon drones delivering uppers?
What?
Your Amazon drone gets shot down by the police because they think it's delivering drugs.
Bro, did you guys see that Hong Kong shit between the Hong Kong gang members and the police, bro?
You know that's got to be awesome.
Bro, what? Man.
That was in Japan, I think, actually.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
That was what?
Man.
No, it was Japan.
Oh, it was?
Using drones. They're using drones to fly.
Maybe it was
so the
China.
cops are using drones.
Dude, Mexico's been on top of that for years, though.
Well, Mexico's got those fucking ultralights.
Yeah, that or catapult. They catapult their shit over.
Hey, I'm about to trebuchet you some drugs. Like, what? How far do I need to stand back? Where's it going?
Hey, they made an underground Christmas train tunnel.
They're digging tunnels underneath the Border Patrol. What are you doing? We're digging a moat. We're helping Trump.
Those motherfuckers, I need building shit for my house.
Yeah, but, Trumpies want to deport us all because they think we're lazy pieces of shit.
I don't know. I love that one South Park episode.
Oh, my God, Mexican Joker.
Mexicans.
The Mexican Joker one.
Deport all the Mexicans back to Mexico, and there's people that have to do their own leaf blowing stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So they open up the borders. They're like, "Yo, come back, come back."
No, they did a newer one. They did a new one the last season, not about.
Yeah, it was about political correctness.
Yeah, but the one where they actually had the children in cages.
The kids with cages one. Mexican
Joker. They're like, it's going to be Mexican Joker. But, it's such a great episode. The solution to figuring out how to, beat all that is so good. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I think it's, the first or second episode of the most recent season. But it was so good.
Dude, watch it. It is hilarious.
I think I stopped on, season 21 for South Park. I don't even know where they're at now.
They just did an hour-long pandemic special that was pretty good, too.
I meant to watch that. I need to go watch it.
I bet that's a good one.
I've heard it was hilarious.
It was pretty accurate.
I'm going to have to watch that before bed tonight. I'm excited.
It's an hour long, so keep that in mind.
Oh.
Comedy Central, please sponsor us.
And HBO, because it's also there.
HBO, Axios, you can interview us. Not Vice, fuck Vice.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not sure if that whole asking for sponsorships is supposed to be a disclaimer or something like that, but I don't know.
Satire.
That's my way of thinking about it.
Yeah, satire.
So, I'm just saying, I've heard other podcasts doing that too. So I want to make sure I'm throwing that out there, and somebody's not like, "Oh, copy pasta, bro." No, I actually didn't know if that was a thing.
We genuinely use these products. We're not promoting it.
Yeah, and because if you don't chew Big Red, then fuck you.
Cough, sponsor us, cough.
Start getting care packages from fucking Red Man.
Can McDonald's Can McDonald's have a bungalow meal?
I'd go to McDonald's for a bungalow meal.
It blows up. It gets so big they jump it to $10 too.
It's just a Big Mac with the bread in the middle, just a pineapple.
Hibiscus flowers on the box.
Depending on what size meal you get a mag.
And your drink is a Shirley Temple.
And it's brought to you on a Roomba.
What, bro? I would fucking pay. I'd pay big bucks. Have a burger brought to me on a Roomba.
Oh, no doubt.
If you need somebody on your idea board, you've got 4 people right here. We've got
do it for the lulz.
So,
but final words, just libertarians, get your shit together, man. Like, for reals. We're not going to get anywhere far. We're just going to keep fighting each other like this.
Mm-hmm.
No. It only hurts the movement, and it only furthers that throwing your vote away argument. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is bad, because with as many people as say, oh, I'd vote for Joe if this, or I'd vote for Joe if that, or I'd vote for Joe, but this election's too important. If all those people would just get over that, just for 1 second at the booth, we could change the country.
That's what this country needs, is some fucking change, man.
The change we've been promised for my whole life and never got.
Yeah, exactly.
I was promised it in 2008. Where the fuck is it?
I was still in school then.
Same.
You can find me on Twitter at ClassCountryBoy. To be boy spelled B-O-I on Twitter.
You can find me on Twitter at ox_redacted.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter also at The Boogie Disco.
And sometime this week, you'll be able to find me on Twitter as Koa. Kohia.